I'm going to try to get this in while I can. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Calendar Season Racing. This is Tier 1, and this is their first race of the season at Australia. I'm not sure if the stream is going to crash again or not, so just bear with me here. But I figured I'd flip this over and at least let you guys know we're having some technical difficulties with everything. Hopefully that goes away, but remains to be seen. We got 19 in the lobby right now, a lot of familiar faces for myself, but I'll run through the grid in case you're new to this. Obviously, we got CSR West in the McLaren this season, Meavy in the Alfa Romeo, Brownie in the Racing Point Pez, and Phil in the Red Bull, Apex Racing in the Alfa Romeo, Munjakla in the Ferrari, Rustable Eel in the Williams, Multi in the McLaren, Smates in the Williams, JD in the Ferrari, Kuga in the Mercedes, Skills in the AlphaTauri, D-Money in the Racing Point, Matt Conabier in the AlphaTauri, Jan in the Haas, Snipes, the champion from last season, he is in the Mercedes, Wibes, buddy of mine, in the Haas there, Harvey PT in the Renault, and yours truly on comms. I believe we're waiting on Alfie as well. Alfie must be in the Renault. But yeah, should be an exciting one here. A couple guys moving up from Grid 2 from last season, Apex Racing, Rustable Eel, Smate, though he came up towards the end of the last season. I can't remember if Jan was on the grid or not. I want to say Jan was on the grid. And Kuga, I don't remember if Kuga was in Tier 1 at the end of last season. But anyways, it's going to be an exciting one tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure these boys are. They're ready to go in 2021. This is the new season of CSR, and I'd like to think that Snipes is probably coming into Australia ready to kick things off with a statement here, but you never know. There are some guys on the grid I would say are going to put their hat in the ring for the driver's title this season. I would keep an eye on Meavy. Had a lot of good performances last year, but didn't seem to quite hook things all the way up most of the time. Brownie is definitely a consistent one. I want to keep an eye on Apex Racing. Heard he did really well down on Grid 2. Smate's obviously another one to keep an eye on tonight. Kuga, I want to see what he's doing for the ABR boys. Matt Conabier, I think, could be a sneaky pick for the driver's title this season. Obviously the champion himself. So yeah, a lot of guys mixed in here. A lot of good drivers this season on the grid. Pretty stacked from what I've seen of these guys. So looking forward to what's coming up in 25 seconds. That's full qualifying this season for Grid 1. So 18-minute first stint, 15-minute second, and 12-minute 10-man shootout, followed by the 50% race. Weather's on dynamic per usual. And yeah, let's get into things here. Let's see how it goes tonight. I'm excited for this one, and I hope you guys are too. In the chat to all the Cougars here, Rick, Brownie Shark, Munjakla, Kimmy, Danny Rick again, PT. Good to see you, boys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Looking forward to this one. 4 guys will be out in Q1, 5 in Q2, and then obviously we'll have the 10-man shootout Q3. I don't know who's going to be on pole position. I'm going to say the fastest lap time tonight will be in 18:9, and that may be stretching it a tad, but I think these guys have probably put in a good amount of prep for this one. I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone break the 19 barrier. Good to see you, HSA F1. Cheers for tuning in, my friend. Good luck tonight. And we have the commentator's glitch here where it says we're on lap 1 of 3. Obviously, that's not the case as it now flips over into Q1. 18 minutes on the clock. It's dry. It's always good to see. Happy these guys will be up to full speed racing this evening. And yeah, now we wait until someone wants to come out of the pit lane and put on a little show for us. We get all the goodies pulled up. It's good. Now we wait. Matt Conabeer saying, come on lads, let's have it tonight. Harvey PT, all sunny throughout the session. And we do have some cars heading out on track now. There's Rustical Heel leading the way. Rust driving for Williams this season. Came up from Grid 2 last year. Was a pretty solid performer down there. And let's see what he has to offer the Grid 1 boys. Could be a challenger for the Currents, I would say. We'll have to wait and see. I'm expecting this grid to be very, very close. Much closer than last season. I'd say all within a second and a half. It's all said and done, probably. Last year, things got a little out of hand at some tracks. You'd see some gaps. I think that wasn't really representative of the entire grid. And yeah, this season should offer a little bit more. There's been some switch around, some guys getting pulled up. Obviously, a lot of guys are going to push to improve themselves before the new season begins. And we will stay on board here with Rust as he fires the tires up for a quick second before he starts off the first qualifying lap of Grid 1 this season. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We want to brake, I believe, just after the 100-meter board here. We want to go to Rust. Throw the car over that curve to the best of your ability. Ooh, as he loses traction on the exit there, so he's going to back out of that lap. Let's switch on over here to Apex Racing. See what he's got to say. A little bit of understeer there as he heads through the last corner before the start-finish straight. That black box just past that. Very nicely done. Hooks it up well from there. Using a lot of curve on the exit. Push out for the black box here. Put that front tire turned in. Downshift, back through that shift, gotta keep it flat through here, try to miss that curve on the inside, but don't want too far out. Nicely done so far, 26.6 through Sector 1 for Apex Racing. Using plenty of curve on both sides there, nicely done. Picking up through Sector 2 now is the Alfa Romeo drivers. He approaches the S section now of the track. Very tricky couple of corners here. You have to carry as much speed as you possibly can, but be very careful with your line as you could end up spinning right round. Firing it into the braking zone nice and late on the brakes, and a good exit as well as Rust does a 26.0. That's not going to be representative of his fastest lap time. That's just him getting in the lap. As he's going to fire up for another one. Apex Racing, though, he's going to come up to the line as Meavy sets a 21.0 on the board. It's going to be for Apex Racing a 20.4. Matt Conabeer now coming up to the S section, and he is purple in Sector 2. Let's see if that sticks for the man in the AlphaTauri as he's coming up to this very heavy end of DRS braking zone. Looking pretty comfortable so far is the AlphaTauri driver. Final few corners now. And up to the line, what will it be as Brownie gets into 20.9. Slots himself into P2. What's it going to be from Matt Conabeer? It is across the line at 20.1. He takes provisional pole here in Q1. Down the order now. Where's D-Money? He's just come through the S's. He's invalidated his lap. Mr. West is coming up to the line now to end his, and it's going to be P5 of 21.1. He gets a lap time as well, 22.4 on the mediums.
We can do it.
Mr. Skills, he's on the lap here. He's coming through Sector 3 himself. The other AlphaTauri driver looking to match Matt Conabeer up at the top of the leaderboard so far. 5 minutes in here. And with 7 drivers on the board. A medium lap time there from Kuga, and I would say not very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not very representative lap time there from Russell. He'll be looking to improve. His skills go 6th fastest with a 21.6. How about the champion though? He's out and about for a pit stroll. He's good all over the place there. You're out on the road, Mr. Snipes. Bit of a walk-up. So looking like he's struggling just a tad here. That's the S's section. Ooh, very hesitant on the throttle there. And I'm curious what's going on with Snipes here. Looks like he's a little bit out of touch at the moment. Not sure if he hasn't been practicing or if he didn't have time to warm up this evening. You know, a little bit sloppy from the champion at the moment, but he's going to still finish the lap time. I don't know what it's going to be. Looks like it should be right around the 20s. And it's 20.6. As Russ puts in a 20.0, takes pole position, so that's what I was talking about. Representative lap time there for Russell William now on board. Moving down the order. Wide is coming through sector 3 now. A couple of guys heading into the pit lane, it looks like, so Wives will be next to finish his lap. Then we'll check out CSR Pez and what he's doing in the Red Bull. Really good season for him last year, and I think a lot of hype around Wives as well. He can definitely be a top driver. He puts the time and effort in. Let's see what he's got in store for us as he comes up to the line now. Haas driver is going to set a 121.4, good for P8, and now down the order to Pez. He's coming through the S's right now. Runs wide, and he's in the grass, and he's into the wall, and that's Pez out of qualifying. As soon as we hop on board with him, coming through the S's section, Pez catches the back corner of the curb there. And he has put himself out of Q1. And that's going to help someone get through here. As Wives is going for a back-to-back lap here, it looks like. He's now set a purple sector 1. Yeah, he's still firing here. Let's see if the Haas driver's got a good lap time in store. Russ will over there for Wives. His Wives come through, runs it on the curb, but no, he's looking pretty good so far. Let's see where he ends up shaking things out. I don't know if he's trying to hustle back to the pit lane. There's no need. Final few corners now for Wives. ERS getting low. Final corner up to the line. I think this is going to be a low 20 as it's a high 20.8. E5 for Wives, ahead of Brownie and behind Snipes SB. Not a bad place to be. As we move on down the order here, Jan, the teammate of Wives, is now coming through Sector 3. No lap time for Jan as it's invalid. So we're going to have to wait on Jan for a fresh one here. Let's move around the order. Munjaclaw, how about the Ferrari driver? He's definitely someone I think you need to keep an eye on this season. Didn't see too much of him at the end of Grid 1 last year. But I think he's going to be ready to go for the new season. Always good motivation when you start off a new season. And he'll be looking to get a good result in tonight for the boys in red. As he's flinging it now through Sector 2. Sorry, end of Sector 1. He's gone purple according to the Delta. We'll see if that's accurate or not. Russ still sits atop the leaderboard. 12 lap times in so far. And I'm kind of surprised that a few guys on board here are yet to get lap times in. I don't know if they've been waiting or not. JD, Harvey, Molt Team, Team Money, and Jan. Obviously, Pez is out for the remainder of this one. Coming up to the S's section. Takes it a little bit too deep. Gets the nice exit over the second curb there. And he'll keep the speed going. Run down the DRS straight, heavy braking zone. Use all the curb there you can on exit. Nicely done from Munjaclaw so far as he runs wide, but no invalidation. Final corner now. And opportunity to finish on what will be from Munjaclaw. Is he going to put himself into Q2 comfortably? Yes, he does with a 20.084. Edges out Rusty Wheel by 0.004 of a second there. Very nicely done from Munjokla to get that lap time in. And we'll be comfortably into Q2. Go down the order here to someone who hasn't got a lap time in yet. How about the Ferrari teammate of Munjokla? That's JD now coming through the S's section. And he'll be looking to also get the Italian-powered prancing horse into Q2. Millsy in the chat, good to see you. Kimmy's here. Can I turn down game volume? Oh no, it's all good on your end. Okay, never mind. JD up to the finish line here. It's going to be a 21.5. Good for P11, so it should be through as it stands. But still lap times remaining to be seen. Ooh, who just popped up there? So that's D Money, yes, into P11. Shady down to 12th. PT, ooh, almost getting in the way of the phase there. Gotta be careful. We got Jan still yet to get lap time in. Multi as well in the Mercedes. Multi didn't end grid 1 last year extra strong, I would say. Imagine he's probably going to be looking to do a little bit better at the start of this season, as he's now firing it around the final corner. He's going to get a lap time in with 6.5 to go here. Let's hope the Mercedes can put himself into Q2. This corner gets a little bit out of shape there, does Multi, and he's already backed off. We'll switch over to Harvey PT, who is also backed off. Pierce might have enough in the tank to go for another one for Harvey. But Jan. Jan's gone. Out there in sector 1. Be a tad more aggressive in qualifying. Bad exit there from Jan. Not particularly the quickest lap time, I would say. Looks a little bit sluggish into and out of the corner, but the lines are looking good from Jan. Looking it up nicely on the exit there. And sometimes that's half the battle, just having the lines correct. Half the battle. Takes plenty of inside curb and outside curb. That's nicely done from Jan. How about here, running it onto the edge? Yes, 2 tires just over. And now final corner. Yep, kiss the inside apex, out to the outside and back to the inside for the outside line, and now up to the line for the hot driver Jan. Let's see if Jan can get into Q2, and it's good for P13. And that's what I said. Sometimes the lines are the most important part. Jan is comfortably in at the moment. Phil is hanging on by threads at the moment. He's got 3/10 back to Kuga, who is now starting a lap time on soft tires. Remember, Kuga set his time on mediums previously, so I would imagine Kuga, look for him to move up the leaderboard, probably right into that CSR skills, maybe King range. So now let's see what Kuga's got for us. Can he get himself into Q2? Looking smooth so far, smooth as key. Hooks it up nicely through the S's. Let's see the onboard here. Through sector 3 now from the Mercedes driver. And Jocko still holds down pole position. Rusted with EOP2. Matt Conover P3. Snipes P4. Apex Racing P5 by a couple hundredths of a second over Smates. And Phil now bumped out down to P16. What's going to be from Kuga? I'm imagining it's going to be a good lap time as he crosses the line. It's good for 21-0 just behind Skills. That's what I was saying, right in that general area. Kuga up to P11, so Phil on the bubble now. How about Multi? He still has to get a better lap time in if he wants to move forward. A 10th of an improvement would be good enough for Multi on this occasion. inside over the S's there. Not what Multi would have wanted. I don't think he's going to have time to go for another one. Phil's coming back out of the pit lane now. Got to stay out of the way of that Haas rapidly approaching. I believe that is Jan. Nope, not Jan. Wyatt up at the top of the snipes the 20.1. Pretty close between the top 4 right now. And Apex and the Snakes are close. Maybe Wives, Brownie, Skills all pretty close as well as Uber West, D Money. It's looking tight here so far. Let's check in with the guys who are on the bubble. How about Phil? We're going to come back on board with him as soon as he gets his lap underway. Let's see if anyone's finishing up lap here. Snipes is going to start one, it looks like. He's invalidated. Wives, Haas is the driver. Looks like he's down on the Delta, but he just had a really nice as a second gear. Pretty planted. Decent exit there from Wives. Lock up into the corner. And he's going to head into the pit lane because he is safely through. Alright, how about back on board with the Red Bull driver, the man himself, Mr. CSR Tier. He is going to kick things off here for one final attempt because he's not going to have time for a second lap. He's got to make this one stick, does Phil. Let's hope for the best here. Coming up to turn 1. And it's pretty clean so far. Didn't quite get the exit that he really wanted as it comes down to the end of the DRS zone here. Kiss the inside apex, nicely done. Use the outside. Blow through this part of the track like a needle, really. Just after the black box, well done. Doesn't even touch the curb on exit there. He is 2.5 tenths up on his delta, but he's going to need much more than that. He's going to need at least 7 tenths of a second to be in. Sorry, more than that. Yeah, just about over 7 tenths, about 7.5 tenths to be in. So he's 2.5 up so far. Looking decent for his Phil. Seconds of timeline. He's 4 tenths up. Gotta have a good S's here. And he keeps it together. At least he's 4 tenths up, though. Needs another 4 tenths in Sector 3. I'd say that's the most common place you could find it as well. As he's going to throw the car through there. And here as well, taking a lot of inside curb, trying to cut off as much time as possible. Late braking. Kiss that inside apex. And now out on the final run up to the line. Will it be enough for Phil to get himself into Q2? Kisses the grass on the exit. That could be a little bit costly up to the line. It is good for P12 from Phil. He sneaks in there. Mega Sector 3 from Phil. And now that's going to put Jan right on the bubble. JD needs to improve as well. He's going to head into the pit lane. That's it for the Ferrari. How about Harvey PT? He's 4 tenths up, but that may not be enough either. Harvey needs way more than that. But is Harvey going to knock Jan out? This could be it. Harvey with a good lap time in store here, and it's PA for Harvey. He gets the Team Renault into the top 10, knocks Jan off at the last second, and I think Jan must have invalidated the lap time because, oh man, that's really tough to see. D Money is your final man to get through. Jan, JD, Multi-Pez out in Q1. Monjacla takes pole position. It was pretty close across the field. What did I say? 1.5 seconds would be the spread. That's just for Q1, and it was almost exactly, was 1.4 to be precise, and that is a lot closer. Things you like to see. Makes it very interesting. That makes the tenths really matter quite a bit more, and it's going to make you be on top of your A game, especially when you have that 3-tiered qualifying this season. Hard lap time. Hats off to you, sir. Glad to hear your heart was pumping, especially when you're about to hook up the end of a good lap. You just know it in your heart. You get so excited and you just want to, you want it to be perfect. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. So that does it for Q1. We're going to have Q2 coming up now. 15 cars will be through, at least they should be. Yep, D Money, the final one to make it for Team Racing Point. And look at the gap just to make it in. He needs to be within a second of the 20.084 Monjacla set. So as I said, out of Q1, Jan JD Multi-Pez, 1.077 seconds was the gap you needed to be within, at least on this occasion, to be in Q2. 15 drivers now are going to shoot it out for the top 10. In terms of tire strategy, it's probably a good time to talk about that, since this year of CSR is to 3-stage qualifying. It's going to be really crucial, if you can, to start on the medium round here. It gives you the option of doing either mediums to hards or it gives you the option of either pitting early or going for a little bit longer of a first stint. And around here, I can confirm the medium to hard strategy should be the one to go with if you can make it happen. This is probably a little bit of a surprise, I would say, to a few people, but in my opinion, because of how quickly the softs do die out around a track like Australia, even though they're still kind of within their window, after 5 laps, the mediums are just going to be so much quicker by that stage of the race, I would say. And a lot of things could happen in that time frame. If there's a safety car, you could still pit and go to hards. Hards will do almost all 29 laps around Australia, believe it or not, so you can pit to the hards as early as need be. And yeah, let's see who goes for the mediums. So far, Russ has got him strapped on, Matt Conabeer, Meavy, Smates, and Wives. I think someone else just put him on as well. That must be Rusty. So some cars heading out the track now. It looks like Harvey is just behind Wives. Great camera angle here, F1. Okay, it says please increase mic volume if possible. Game audio muffles you out. 1 sec. Off, I think. Yeah, Russ is off. He's into the wall. Russ is done from Q2. So now you just can't be in the bottom 4, because that means Russ is done, and that's 1 spot extra someone can gain, someone you don't have to worry about. Apex Racing going to kick off a lap here. Looking pretty decent so far from the Alfa Romeo of Apex Racing. 26.6 in Sector 1. Taking it a little bit cautiously there through the S's was Apex Racing, but probably no need to worry too much here. A lot of the field has opted for medium tires, which means he should be comfortably through if it stands. Now, I'm not expecting it to stand because I'm sure some guys will come back out on softs, and Harvey setting a soft time there of a 22.3. I don't think he's going to be thrilled with that one. Smates up there with a 21.5 on the mediums. That's a pretty good lap time from Smates. Apex Racing across the line does 20.6 on the softs. West with a 20.9 on the softs. Up to the line for Matt Conabeer. He's going to go P3 with a 20.9 on the mediums. Very nice lap, Mr. Conabeer. Meavy King is invalid. Anybody else coming up to the line? Ooh, Wide's running a little bit wide there. Skills is in sector 1. Let's go back on board with Wides here. So the medium runners, 2 medium runners looking decent so far. Matt Conby with a 20.9. That's pretty blitzing on the mediums. I'd say he's got a 19 in store for us somewhere in Q3. Let's see here. Wide's coming through the final corner now. Up to the line for Mr. Wyborn. What is it going to be on the medium tires? It's good for a 21.4 ahead of DZ Snakes there on the mediums. Fastest lap from D-Money, 20.625. He edges out Apex Racing by about 2,500 of a second. Snipes is going to set a time on mediums here up to the line for the champion. Oh no, that's an out lap. My apologies. But we'll go on board with the champion for his flying lap here. Looking up that first apex pretty nicely. Avoiding the curb actually scrubs off a little bit of time there. Just past the black box braking board. And now cuts it in pretty nicely. Kiss that apex. Floor it on the outside. Use a little bit of curb there if you need to. Just where the wall splits right there. Good so far. Same where the wall splits there. Nice braking spot from Snipes. He's plugging along here on the mediums. Doesn't look like too slow of a lap either. I would imagine he's going to look right up in that Matt Conby range. If he can keep the rest of it tidy. Oh, very nice apex there. And a beautiful exit for Snipes as well. Use the inside curb and the outside curb. Nicely done. All inside curb here. Braking zone. Ooh, brakes a little bit early. But it's still looking like a pretty good lap time. Kiss the inside apex from Snipes up to the line. What is it going to be from the Mercedes driver? Snipes SB goes P3 with a 20.9 on the medium tires. He is ahead of Matt Conby and West, who is on the soft tires. Believe it or not, Munja Claw is coming through sector 2 now, actually into sector 3. Ferrari driver, he's on mediums as well. So the medium runners are looking pretty confident here. Kuga and Harvey, both on softs, not able to currently jump ahead of a couple of guys there. Skills now pumps in at 21.5 on the mediums. And it looks like someone else is up there. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just going crazy. Munja Claw up to the line. Let's see what the Ferrari does. 21.1 on the mediums for Mr. Munjakla, not bad at all, up to P6 and just behind Mr. Matthew Connebear. Meavy King is on a run here. Phil is starting off his as well. We'll check in with Phil in a second. Unfortunate ear audio glitch from Meavy there. Not sure why. Game just decides to do that to whoever it wants to. Makes really no sense. Ooh, that was quite laggy going into there, at least on my end. And that means Meavy has invalidated the lap time. Gonna have to run things back. Phil doesn't look like he's going to opt for the mediums here in qualifying. He's just going to go for the softs. A little bit slidey on exit there from Phil. He won't be thrilled with that. Up to the line now for the man himself. What will it be? It is a 21.7, and he is just missing out on Q3 as it stands. Now, granted, Brownie and Meavy still need to get laps in. Brownie will be up in a minute here to get one done. Smates looks like he's just putting in the time on the medium tires here. Can't believe that was valid. He's not pushing though, is he? No, he's not. And it says invalidated his lap time. RBPT. He's out there flying in the Renault. Decent from Harvey so far. Let's see where he stands through Sector 2 on his Delta. He is 4/10 up, so still needs to find some more time in Sector 3 as well. He looked like he had a great S's section there. On board with the Renault now for the final sector. And this is a very technical section. You have to nail the braking zone, but also keep so much speed going through both of these corners. Use the track on exit. Brake as late as you can for this corner. Get the car turned around, and on the exit here, this is a very tricky traction zone. I would imagine some of these guys, I believe, are pad drivers. Should be a little bit easier than it is on wheel, but let me tell you, it's very common to lose the back end as Harvey puts it on pole position with a 20.502 on the soft tires. Very nice lap from the man in the Renault, and give yourself a bow, sir. You are improving moment by moment here. And Harry West saying, this is my worst track, by the way. Yeah. And no worries, Harry. We'll see something from you in the race, hopefully. Appears to have backed off here. Moving down the order, so we got to catch what these guys are up to. Brownie's out on the soft seats, not even going to bother to opt for the mediums, it looks like. Let's see what Brownie has in store for us now as he's coming through Sector 3. Final corner now for Brownie, and up to the line. What will it be from the racing point? Can he get himself into P3? I would imagine so, but let's see from Brownie. It's going to be a 20.4, and he takes pole position by a full 1/10 of a second there. Nice job from CSR Brownie. He will be comfortably in, I believe, 3.5 to go here. Skills has invalidated it in P7, and does he have all of his front wing? Yes, I believe he does. Okay, so just an invalidation. Thought he had some damage there for a second. All good, though. Meavy now is going to need to find some time, and I would be surprised if the Alfa Romeo goes down without a fight here. Looking decent on this lap so far. Pretty good exit there, and quite a large amount of lag coming off that Alfa Romeo. I believe that must be on Meavy's end, because we haven't had any issues with anyone else. Yeah, you can see the lag even going through the corners as Meavy almost loses the car, or so it looked like. Now into the final stretch of the track here. Can Meavy get into Q3? Only 250 remaining on the board, so not a whole lot of time. If Meavy wants to make things happen here, it's got to be pretty soon. Final corner now, and up to the line for Meavy. What will it be from the Alfa Romeo? Will it be Q3 appearance? And it's pole position from Meavy by a full 1/10 of a second there. Or near as makes no difference. The Alfa Romeo pops it onto pole with 2:30 to go here. Outlap for Apex Racing, comfortably sitting in P5. Let's check in with Wyborn as he crosses the line. It's going to be good for P4 for Wyborn. And now everyone's switching over to the soft tires. It looked like a little bit of a shell game at first, but now the cards are out. Let's see who is going to make it work here in the final stages of Q2. Who is on the bubble here, so we got to keep an eye on him. He is up and purple in Sector 2. Wow, what an S's section as well from Kuga on board for the final sector here. Kuga looking pretty smooth. I wouldn't say overly quick, but smooth for sure. Up to the line for Kuga. Will he get himself in? No. He improves, but not by enough. That should be Kuga done from qualifying here. And we got a whole bunch of guys on outlaps. Apex Racing has invalidated. Wibes is looking like he's done. I believe same with Meavy. Alright, who's going to be up next on lap here? It looks like a Red Bull of Mr. CSR Phil GH kicking off his lap. Phil sitting in P14. He needs to improve. Kuga is going to be done, I'm guessing. Smates is cruising through a lap here. We'll keep an eye on Smates, actually. And Munja Claw as well. On board for the S's here. This is the first apex it's had, but pretty stable on exit there for Smates coming out of Sector 2 now into 3. Phil is retired. I think Phil's lost the car, as he has in Sector 1. Phil is out in P14. Shame to see for Phil. As Smates now coming to the penultimate corner, and he's got to get a good launch here. He needs to find about 3/10 of lap time if he wants to pop himself into the Q3. Conversation across the line, and it is pole position for Smates with a 20.1. And what a lap there from Smates it was to get himself safely through. How about Manjakla now? We got to keep an eye on him, as we know he is going to be on the barrier as well. Really nice final corner there from Manjakla, and I think this is going to be a very quick lap time. He crosses the line with a 20.146. It's split on the two screens there, a 145 or 146, we don't know. Sneaks it out by 3 thousandths over Smates to get pole, does Manjakla, and that's going to put Matt Conabeer on the bubble now, and Skills, the two AlphaTauris, within earshot of each other. Let's see if we can get them both in the same frame. There they are. This is the battle for P10 and 11. Still valid lap times. Yes, they are. Let's see. Can Matt Conabeer and Skills improve? Skills runs wide, though. Keeps it clean somehow. Coming up to the line for Mr. Matt Conabeer. West is done, so it's between Skills and Matt Conabeer for the final spot. And look at how close they are. Wait, Skills has backed off. Skills has spun it in the final corner. And Matt Conabeer is going to move up to P9. But that puts Snipes P10, and Snipes is going to start on the medium tires. Skills is out. Oh, what an absolute shame for Skills as he spins it in the final corner. That's going to do it for P2, guys. Manjakla takes pole, Smates P2, Navy King P3, Brownie P4, Harvey P5, Live P6, D-Money P7, Apex Racing P8, Matt Conabeer P9, Snipes P10. That's going to be your 10-man shootout for Q3 coming up. There you have it. You needed to be within 7.5 tenths of pole to get into Q3. Look at how close it was between Manjakla and Smates, as well as a couple other guys on the grid there. Look at the gaps between Harvey and Wives, as well as D-Money and Apex Racing. Very, very close time. Snipes gets through on the mediums, and I believe Matt Conabeer may have been able to sneak in on the mediums, if not for setting that soft lap time at the final stage of qualifying there. I think he may have been through ahead of his teammate. Look at how close it was between Skills and West as well, 1,000th of a second. And yeah, we were saying did on mediums and off too late. Unfortunate. But that's why you are the king bottler at the end of the day. All right, into Q3 we go, and it's going to be a Madman Dash shootout to the finish here. Let's see who gets it done and who's coming out of the pits. Couple guys, Harvey PT, and that looks like Wobbs as well ahead of him. All right, everyone looks like they're heading out onto the track now, barring Matt Conabeer, the final man in the pit lane. Is he coming? Yes, he is. You can see him moving there slowly down the pit lane. He'll be last to get the time in. First up will be Harvey PT. Let me know your predictions for pole in the chat, guys. Let me know who you think is going to be the man who gets it done in Q3 here. I am going to personally say it's looking awfully close between a couple of guys. I would expect to see Munjakla up there. I would expect to see Matt Conabeer up there. I would expect to see Snipes up there. And I honestly think Smates and Apex Racing may get good lap times in. So that's someone else to keep an eye on. Harvey PT, by the way, he is my sleeper pick to get pole position here. He has looked extra quick in qualifying so far, and props to Harvey PT for how far he's come. He's looking really good in this qualifying so far. Harvey has backed off of his lap here. Let's go on board with someone who we might think at pole position. That would be Mr. Snipes SB, as he is now cruising through Sector 2. There's going to be some lap times coming up on the board. I think first up will be Wibes, actually, so let's check in with Wibes. Up to the line for the Haas driver, it's going to be a 21.3 to kick things off here. Apex Racing is next after the Williams crosses the line of no lap time there, whoever that was. Apex Racing with a 20.066. Line from Munjakla, it's 20.062. Snipes with a, what is that, 19.8. Nice lap time from Snipes there. Who's that? That's just gone up into Brownie P4, 20.1. Matt Conabeer crossing the line now. D-Money's retired from the session. Matt Conabeer with 19.7 crosses the line to take P1. Smates on an outlap here. I didn't see what happened to D-Money. I think he crashed out. Yep, he crashed out in Sector 2. All right, Smates starting a lap now for Team Williams. Smates looking pretty good so far on this lap. Coming into Sector 2. Let's see where the Williams is going to shake out. He looked pretty good in Q1 and Q2. This is the Apex there, Tad on entry, and is going to invalidate over the curb. That's going to mean he's got to back off, go for a fresh run here. Harvey PT is on an outlap. You'll be the next man up. board with Harvey. As he kicks things off for himself, the Renault driver needs to get a lap time in here. 5:30 on the board. And that's all that's left. Pretty decent turn one. Purple sector 2 for Harvey, it says. Phenomenal S's section there. He almost slid the pack end out, but kept it together pretty nicely. That's going to keep him in the fight here. Nice through there as well. Use the track on exit, nice. Right before that red marker. Cuts it in nicely. Loses a little bit of time on the exit there. Shouldn't be too bad. And now up to the line. For the Renault driver, Harvey PT, where is he going to come? And it's going to be P6. Smates is on the outlap again. Who's going to be up next? Meavy or Smates? Looks like it'll be Meavy. Alright, here goes Meavy. Gonna go for one final run here. 3:30 on the board. Let's hope that it is enough for the Alfa Romeo. A bit of lag through turn one. Quite a bit of lag as the engine glitch for Meavy. Not so decent. Backed off from the lap time there. Let's check in here. How about Smates? He's on a lap. Smates looking decent so far. A little bit of a lock up there heading into the final sector. Uses a lot of curb on exit there, keeps it clean. Final corner for Smates now, up to the line. What is it going to be from the Williams driver? Looking like it could be a pretty decent lap time here. Is it going to be in the 19s? It's 20.0 for Smates, P5. Moving up the grid to Apex Racing. He is down on the Delta. Coming into Sector 2 now. Let's see where he is when he crosses the split line here. He's still 2/10 down on his lap time. Must have some room to make up in Sector 3 as he goes into the wall, and he's out. Is Apex Racing. Oh boy, that was an interesting set of circumstances there. Wives is coming up to the line now for Team Haas. Let's see what he can do. Good for P8, and does improve, but not by enough there. Meavy's backed off. Smits is backed off. Who's going to be up next? It looks like Manjaka in Ferrari. One looking decent through sector 2 so far. He's got 3 and a bit to go up to Matt Conbeer on pole position. It's just him and Snipes battling it out right now. We're going to see who it is at the end of this one. Qualifying is over now. And there's only a few guys who I think are going to be able to put their name in the hat here for pole position. Munn being one of them. And he's looking pretty good so far into sector 3 now. He's been pretty rock solid all lap. He's got to get a good exit here. Looks like he does. Up to the line for Manjaka. Will he improve? Yes, he will. And it's going to be pole position with a 19.563. It's now between Matt Conbeer and Snipes, I would say. Smates is still out there as well. Matt Conbeer is going to be next up to get a lap time in. Up to the line for the AlphaTauri. Will it be an improvement? Yes, it is. Pole position by 0.04 of a second. And now it is just up to Snipes SB. It says he's up on the Delta. Can he stick it on pole position here? The Mercedes driver, the reigning defending champion. Where is he going to shake things out? And it's going to be pole position by 0.03 of a second for Snipes SB. And now it's just Smates as he is going to head into the pit lane in P5. Wives is done in P6, Brownie P7, Harvey PT P8, Navy P9, and D-Money no lap time. That is going to do it, guys, for qualifying, and it's an absolute banger at the end of that one. Snipes takes pole, a very, very fine margin, a 19.4, just 0.03 back to Conbeer, 0.08 back to Manjaka. Very close battle for pole. Apex Racing gets ahead of Smates, Wives, and Brownie in a pretty close battle for P4 there. And then you got Harvey PT and Meavy in P8, P9, and Money with no time. I'm going to step out for a second, guys. Enjoy yourselves in the quick break here as we let these guys use the bathroom themselves and maybe get the setup and strategy all tuned in to their liking, and we'll be back momentarily. HSA F1 kind enough to gift out a sub to the channel. It goes to Harvey PT, one of the drivers in tonight's race. Congrats, Harvey, on the sub, and big shout out to HSA F1 Mr. CSR Skills on the donation to the channel. And we're just waiting on these guys to sort things out on their end, and we will be going as soon as they're ready. Cheers, HSAF1. Appreciate the kind words, buddy. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a good race. We gained Alfie, by the way, in case anybody was curious. So Alfie will be slotting into that final Renault seat. Let's see what Alfie has in store for us. We'll start from the back of the grid behind Mr. CSR Pez, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, now we have the ready up signal from the man himself, which means we are 20 seconds away here from the formation lap, and then we will get the racing underway. Guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit the follow button on the channel. If you can, subscribe. It's free with Amazon Prime, and it's much appreciated for the channel as we get the 005 on the clock here, and that means we are 2-1. And let's get down to business here. 20 drivers on the grid. And we'll get a quick rundown of the order here before we kick things off. Waiting on D-Money here. D-Money spinning endlessly. All right, here we go. Formation lap is underway. Let's get a rundown of the grid again for you guys, and we'll see what everyone's starting on in terms of tires. Okay. Snipes is on the mediums, and he's going to start on pole position tonight. He was the only driver to make it to Q3 on the mediums. Conabeer starts P2 on the softs. Monjacla P3 on the softs. Apex Racing P4. Smates P5. Wyborn P6. Brownie P7. Harvey PT P8. Maybe P9. D-Money P10. I don't see D-Money in the game here. I'm going to have to try to get him in the back real quick. Can't invite him through there. How about through here? Nope. Can't invite D-Money. Interesting. Okay, moving on down the order. Skills P11 on the mediums. West P11, sorry, P12 on the mediums. Kuga P13 on the mediums. Phil P14 on the mediums. Rust is gone for the softs in P15. And the mediums in P16. JD on the softs in P17. Multi on the mediums in P18. Pez on the mediums in P19. And Alfie's going to start on the hard tires. Only driver to do so. We'll go for the complete reverse strategy call here. Is Alfie? Alright, let's get down to business here. 29 laps of Melbourne Park coming up. And I would imagine it's going to be a very, very tense first lap as these guys try to settle into the groove here. Alright, cars are lined back up, which means we are good to go here for CSR Grid 1. Lights are not on yet. Still waiting on some cars to load in, I think. Great the pit stop strategy up there for you guys. Here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are away for the start of the Australian Grand Prix. And it's a flying start from Brownie. He's going to move up like inside there, on the outside, my apologies, and try to go around. Apex Racing gets pushed into the grass a tad. Some ghosting going on here, not sure what's happening. And has anyone been caught out in turn 1? Yes, that looks like someone is lagging behind the pack there. And the Delta is just all over the place. Brownie's dropped back to P10. What is going on here? He's got front right wing plate damage. A lot of ghosted cars as there goes the Alfa Romeo of Apex Racing around. Oh boy, it's a tense first lap. Harvey and Snake's going toe to toe. Wow, look at the pack here, just all riled up, trying to get moves done. Ooh, there's some damage there for West. He's gone off. 3 DS's. And we have a yellow flag. And there's a couple of cars off. It's hard to keep up with all the things going on here at once. Look at all these guys coming through Sector 3 together. West is trying to hang on for dear life. He's off into the gravel, though. Look at how tight it is. Between the entire field here. And that's West going into the pit lane. Not a good start here for Ferrari. Brownie pitting as well as West. Brownie has left the session. Not sure why. And that's a car that's just gone straight off. That's Mustang Leo. Russ squeezes someone. Oh, and he's caused a collision between Pez, Multi, and Alfie. Wings are definitely flying. And I would say Rust did not leave enough space there. He really cut it tight there on the Red Bull, and we have a VSC. Meanwhile, Snipes and Matt Conabier have really broken out a gap here. Wives is in P3. Let's move over to the position changes. He's up a couple of spots, as well as Harvey PT. Big gains for Skills and Phil, as well as Cougar Jan. Maybe down a spot, but still holding on tight. Rust is into P11 now. Matt Conabier on the grass. It's had Snipes putting him under all sorts of pressure to kick things off here. Really close battle up at the front, but let's move on down the order here as we got a couple of guys going into the pit lane, and now that's going to get Alfie, Multi all into the pit lane, as well as there's someone else in there. Can't see JD. D-Money's out of this one. Rustable's looking to go on the hunt for Meavy here. Going to try to make a move around the outside. Late braking, Rustable leaving enough space this time. He's on the grass a tad, and that's going to let Meavy get on back through. He's right up on the tail of Meavy here. He's going to look for a move with Williams, maybe down the inside. Yeah, he's lining up the inside move here on the Alfa Romeo, and it looks like he's going to get it done. Leaves him enough space, and up into P10 for Rust. Now on the hunt for Jan, Kuga, and Harvey PT, who are all scrapping it out here in the battle for P7. Phil trying to hold on to the back of Skills for some DRS. Skills up into P5, but nowhere near the likes of Smates and Wives battling it out for the podium right now. Ooh, Smates was looking there. Couldn't quite find the space to make the move. Smates and Wives going to battle for the podium for the time being. The battle in the midfield, though, is heating up right now between Harvey PT, Kuga, Jan, Rustable, Eel, and Meavy. Rustable. He is right up on the tail of Jan right now. Going to go for a move on the Haas driver, it looks like. Trying to go to the outside now. Going to go to the inside. Brakes late enough. Going to leave enough space. Yes, and that is Rustable through on Jan. Runs a little bit wide there on the exit. Might be a warning. Look at how many guys are all within earshot of each other here still on lap 5. This is great to see. There's going to be some good battles here in the midfield of all the CSR Grid 1 season. This is the promising hopes that we're looking for as Cougar runs wide, gives up the position to the Williams and Rust. That's up to P8 now for Russ Willio. Valiant charge from the field as is. As Phil's picked up a penalty, it looks like Snipes and Conabier are having a day here. Not quite enough of a day to keep Wives from catching up. Wives is gaining, and Matt Conabier not outpacing the Mercedes on the softer compound right now. That's not good for the remainder of the race, because Snipes going to be able to go a little bit longer than Matt Conabier and should be quicker than the hard tires when they come out of the box. As looks like it's still a pretty tight battle here. Same with Smates and Wives. They're still within DRS range of each other. Rust and Harvey PT going side by side. And Rust went for the move, but Harvey's going to get him back. Rust now gets by Harvey PT, who's got a penalty already. Skill's kind of off on his own. Looks like he might be in for a lonely race here, as Phil's starting to lose ground to the car ahead, starting to get caught up by Rust, who's really on the charge here. He's up to P7, 15th on the grid. How's the move coming from Russ? He's going to go to the outside of Phil. Can Phil do anything about it? No, it doesn't look like it. Rust is through and up into P6 now. Guys, quite a bit of work to do to catch Skills. 2.3 seconds is the gap. Smates is still chilling behind Wyborn in the battle for P3. Snipes is awfully close to Matt Conabier in the battle for P1. And remember, Snipes on the medium tires. They should be taking over at this stage of the race now. Going to send on Matt Conabier down the inside. Late on the brakes. Kind of a half-hearted move there from Snipes. Nothing serious. As now Brownie's picked up 3 seconds. Russ has pulled out the gap on Harvey PT already. He's making some inroads towards Skills. How about down the order battles right now? Because there's some action going on down here. Apex Racing is going to make a move on Alfie with DRS. No real contention there. This Alfie, I think, is actually... Alfie's just disconnected as soon as I said that. Apex Racing still within DRS here of JD. Back up the order because there's quite a bit going on between Skills. Sorry, Phil, Kuga, and Jan. The battle for P8 right now. Seem to have disappeared for God knows what reason. Snipes is ahead of Matt Conabier now. Missed that. My apologies. But yeah, not surprised. The soft should be dying out at this stage. The mediums are cooking. D-Money has also retired now, I believe, in the pit lane, so that's good to see. Actually, he crashed in the pit lane, and it's a safety car. At Conabier, this is your time to go put on fresh tires. Snipes, you should do the same. Yes, you will. Hard tires it is. Smates ahead of Wides. Didn't see that one either. And yeah, D-Money, I can't send you an invite. I don't know why. They just won't let me do it. I've been trying. Haas held up by the altitude there. It's Matt Conabier. See if that affects Wives coming out of the pit lane. Jan's opted to stay out, it looks like. Everyone else pretty much coming into the pits. West is coming around now. Brownie's going into the pits. Most of these guys should be boxing. Alfie's out. Multi's still in. So, out of all that, we have the safety car that's going to play a big predominant piece in this. Jan will be the only car not to pit. Position changes, though. This is going to be interesting. Rustible is still up 8 spots, even with Jan in the lead here. That's really big for him. Phil the same, up 6. Pez is up 7. He's almost crawling into the points now, which is good to see for him. No big major changes apart from that. Everybody boxed for the most part. Chill behind the safety car for a little bit. As I would imagine it's going to wait for everyone to catch back up, so we should be here for another lap or two. As the field was getting pretty spread out towards the back, and with JD in the pit lane, and now Apex Racing coming up the grid as well. Yeah, we might get back to racing this lap, this upcoming lap.
Somebody. Those laps at the end were amazing. Amazing. Thanks, guys. We can do it. We can do it.
But it is coming in this lap. A lot of penalties on the board so far. Jan Smates, Rustible, Phil, Harvey, and Brownie, all time penalties booked up for later on. Jan will get things going here again. And what tires did Jan start on? The medium. So Jan is going to only have maybe another 5-6 laps of life left in those before things get really interesting. See how Jan makes out on the restart here, but it's going to be up to Snipes and Matt Conabeer to get clear. Decent restart there from Jan and the whole crew. There's some battle going on in the background. Mercedes overtakes the Alfa Romeo there. I think that's Kuga on Meavy. Meavy back on Kuga. Meavy Kuga, Meavy Kuga. Meavy's ahead. Russ sends it on the inside of Skills and gets the move done. Now Russ under some pressure from the AlphaTauri. Snipes has gotten past Jan, and now it's up to Matt Conabeer to do the same, because this is where it's going to be won or lost. Snipes is going to have some phenomenal pace out front. If you're Matt Conabeer and you want to stay in this, you need to get past Jan ASAP. Come on, Mr. Conabeer. This is crunch time. You got to get Jan ASAP if you want to keep up with the leader here. He's going to keep pulling away as he has. He's out of the DRS window now of Jan. It's all up to Matt Conabeer. He's going to use the slipstream down the straightaway here on Jan. Make up some ground, and now he's got to look for the move potentially into this upcoming corner. Jan runs a little bit wide, but is keeping it together nicely. So yeah, this is not looking great for Matt Conabeer at the moment. Now on the tail of Jan, but it might be all too little too late, as the gap is now 1.8 up to Snipes. That is not something that's going to be easily overcome. And that's brought Smates into the fight as well with Matt Conabeer. Picks up 3 seconds there. Now Matt Conabeer's looking for the move on Jan to the inside line on the Haas driver. Ooh, barely enough space left by Jan there, barely. As Snipes has picked up a 3-second penalty, that's going to help Matt Conabeer at the end of this one. Jan just trying to hold on, but I think this will be it for Jan's run in P2, as Matt Conabeer is now catching up. He's going to have the inside line for the corner. Let's hope Jan doesn't turn in too early here. And it's all good for Matt Conabeer. He's through up into P3. Now it's Smates' turn. Can he get the move done on Jan? Going to look to the inside line on the Haas driver here. Can he outbrake him? Doesn't look like he will be able to, as Jan's going to hold P3. A little bit of an error there from Smates, as he's gone round and he's into the wall. And his front wing is off Smates' round, and he's just thrown it back out into traffic. That's complete luck, as Wides is around as well. Smates not going to be thrilled with himself there. And look at this, has opened the door for Rustable Eel. I know he's got a penalty on the board, but that does not really make a whole lot of a difference when you have the pace that he's had today. Let's see if Skills can keep up with Mr. Rustable Eel. 13 of 29 now. Tight in the midfield on the restart here. Snipes has got that gap up to 4 seconds over Matt Conabeer. So Matt's going to need to close down a little bit more time. Smates gets 5 seconds for speeding into the pit lane. No surprise there with the front wing damage. And it's all Harvey PT, Meavies, Pez, Brownie behind the man himself, Phil. Phil leading the way in P6. Skills once again kind of in no man's land, not in the DRS of Rust at the moment, and not being pressured from behind. picks up 3 seconds there. Harvey's still trying to get by Phil, but just nothing he can do at the moment. Pez still in the mix as well as Meavy and Brownie. So battle for P6 all the way back to P10. A couple other guys trying to make up some ground here. That's Multi trying to gain on West. Apex Racing is right there. JD is not far behind. Alfie's out. Wives is dropped way back along with Smiths. Smiths is retired. I think he's gone off. Yeah, he's crashed out. Virtual safety car. Smates has put it into the wall. Jan's still out on the mediums looking for a late safety car. This would have been a nicely timed VSC if Jan was anywhere near the pit lane, but not quite. VSC is done. Back to racing here. Jan's going to try to keep up with Skills. We'll see how long that ends up lasting for. Close battle here in the midfield, though. As Snipes has now pulled up a 5.3 second gap. It's not looking good here for the rest of the field, unless Snipes picks up another penalty, in which case Matt Conner only has 0.6 of a second to work with. Scrap going on here. Pez sends it past Harvey PT, gets himself up into P7. Snipes the quickest lap so far. Rustable has battled himself all the way to the podium now. Skills still kind of in no man's land, not really being hunted by Jan at the moment. And now is it going to be a move from Harvey PT? It's going to be tough with the Red Bulls following so closely together. Is now, who's that that's going by? Brownie? No, Brownie's gotten past Meavy. Now Pez and Phil. Phil's going to let Pez go up the inside. Hugo with a drive-through penalty, and we have a safety car, and I believe that is for, who is that for? Wives, potentially? Alright, well, Snipes is into the pit lane. Matt Connebeer will probably have to do the same, although he has opted to stay out, has Matt Connebeer. Rustable Eel is going to come on in. Skills is going to come on in, as well as the Haas of Jan. This is big for Jan. Phil's gonna stay out. We get ahead of Snipes. It's gonna be close. Yes, Phil's ahead of Snipes, just barely. Snipes is on the softs, I presume. Yes, he is. Gonna make those go 10 laps. Shouldn't be an issue. Fresh soft tires plus the safety car laps. Should be all good to go here for Snipes. Everyone else is in the pit lane right now. And everyone coming back out on the softs, I would guess. Yep, apart from the hard tire runners, that's Matt Conabeer, Phil, Brownie, and Multi have all stayed out. Everyone else has gone in. 2 people have opted for the mediums, that's JD and Alfie. Wait on a couple of guys to make it all the way back around here. Is that Alfie moving extra slow? Yeah, it's his ghost though. Wonder if we'll wait for Alfie's ghost. We'll have to wait and see. Kuga's down to P15 right now. He's got a lot of ground to make up the field here. But here's the rest of the pack just hanging out, waiting for these guys to get things going here with only a handful of laps left. And sorting out who'll be the winner of the first inaugural round of the season. Safety car is coming in this lap, which means we're going to get back to racing now. Oh boy, let's have an end to this one, huh? Only going to be 9 laps on the board for everybody. Try to get things done. And that does not leave a lot of room for error. Now, granted, a lot of these guys are on fresh soft tires, so expect to see Matt Conabeer, Phil, Brownie, and Multi all come under all sorts of pressure under this one. But here we go. We're going to restart things here in Australia, and Matt Conabeer is going to kick things off for us. So this is going extra slow out on the final corner. And now he's going to take off. He's going to let Phil get put under some pressure there from Snipes. It's going to be really close to the field. Brownie's going to zoom past Snipes, actually. Interestingly enough there, Brownie up to P3. And now side by side go Russ and Multi. Multi is ahead for the time being. Now Pez is through on Jan. Skills trying to go around the outside of Multi. Look at the cars up ahead, though. Look at this battle. As Brownie gets up to P2, Snipes in P3, Phil's back to P4, and now under all sorts of pressure from Skills. Ooh, there's been an accident. Multis dropped down the field. Jan going side by side with West. West gonna just squeeze Jan out onto the curb there. Snipes has gotten back ahead of Brownie, and now he's just got to keep in the DRS of Matt Conabeer. Shouldn't be too much of an issue with the tire advantage. And look at that, 2/10 in one corner there. That tells you all you need to know about this one. Snipes has run wide. He's got 3 more seconds of time penalties. And now this is big for Matt Conabeer. He's just got to hold Snipes as much as he possibly can. And he should be able to get the win on penalties if Snipes does not get 6 seconds ahead of him. But now Matt Conabeer is struggling big time. Snipes is going to go for his move. It looks like Matt Conabeer is going to defend though. I don't think Snipes will be able to go for it. He's got the outside line to do it. He's going to send it late into the braking zone. And he makes some contact with Matt Conabeer, but he is through and is clean enough as is. Multis into the pit lane, tired as well as Kuga now. Phil is dropping down the order like a fly to P7. Skills is up to P4, now hunting Brownie and Matt Conabeer. This could be a big result for Skills if he's able to keep up with Snipes, because he has the freshest tires here. Skills could be on for a win if he can keep things together. Rust has picked up 3 seconds and he's retired. Rust is off into the wall. Are we going to get another safety car? Yellow flag sector 3, Skills up to P3. And that's going to let Pez get through as well. Door was open. And that's a 2-for-1 special. Skills and Pez past Brownie now. Snipes is way up the field, but this could be Skills. He could have his name written all over it as Russ has left the session. If Skills can get by Matt Conabeer and just keep the gap to Snipes, he could be on for an absolute tremendous result. Skills and Pez getting dicey now. Pez wants a piece of the action too. And has he gotten Skills? I think he has. Nope, Skills is going to hold it. Pez is looking, but there's going to be nothing there for him. West picks up 3 seconds penalties. Meaty gets swapped out by JD for P10 there. Skills has got to look for the move now so he can start maybe gaining some ground back on Snipes. He's in the DRS of Matt Conabeer, and it should be a move done in this next DRS section. On the button, on the DRS, Matt Conabeer is going to let him go to the inside line for Skills. Skills gets braked nicely. Ahead of Matt Conabeer, but now let's take a look at the gap when it pops back up here, because the delta, as always, is being strange. We can't tell what the gap between him and Snipes is, but I would argue that it's bordering on that 6-second window already. Skills almost has a moment there on the power. A safety car. Is that Apex Racing now done? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is not what Snipes would have wanted. This is all to play for Mr. Skills now. Let's take a look at his race director, actually. Does he have any warnings? He's got 2 warnings. Okay. So, Skills needs to keep it clean here on the restart. 6 seconds, I think, because I believe, if we take a look, I did not mean to screenshot anything there. I Thank you, Xbox. If you take a look at Snipes, he is on... Ooh. He's almost got another penalty. Another one, says Monjaka. Very accurate. Alright, so we're going to have a 3-lap shootout for the winner of this one, and it could be Mr. Skills, just given how well he's driven this race. Has kept it clean pretty much the whole way, and of the 12 remaining drivers, he is one of only a few. Does not have a penalty on the board yet, and that is what is going to separate him and the winner at the end of this one. Could it be Snipes SB? He's going to have to pull out quite the gap to make it work. Jan should catch the pack in time, maybe not. I think there might be another lap under the safety car here. That makes things even worse for Snipes SB because he's got to carry so much time in those final couple of laps. He's going to have to pull out quite the gap at the end of this one if we want to see a good result for Mr. Skills. It's going to be under 6 seconds. If it's over 6 seconds, it will be Snipes SB, unless something changes in the final couple of laps, which is obviously a possibility as well. We're going to stay out for another one, which means we will have a 3-lap shootout when we get back to racing, lap 27 to 29. It'll be extra close, so hang on tight here, ladies and gentlemen, because things are about to get very, very interesting. Skills trying to keep the tires nice and warm. He knows what he has to do here. He wants to stay in the mix. Safety car is heading in this lap. And Snipes is trying to get the tires warmed up now. Careful, Skills. Do not run into the back of Snipes. Snipes is bolted here, trying to catch Skills sleeping. Don't know if he was really able to do that. Pretty much equal exits for both gentlemen. Jan's picked up 3 seconds there. Brownie's gone off into the grass. Careful, Brownie. Skills just has to keep it under 6 seconds now. Doesn't even need to be in DRS, just has to keep it within 6 seconds. Matt Conabeer is back past Pez somehow. Matt Conabeer could still be on for a podium here. Maybe he's got 3 seconds for multiple warnings there. Down in P8. Pez looking for it on Matt Conabeer, but Matt's just parking the car and doing it so well. Now this is Pez's chance. Matt Conabeer's got to defend. And Skills has picked up 3 seconds. This is the crucial point now. Can he keep up with Snipes SB for the next couple of laps? Because it's going to mean now being within 3 seconds is the way to the win for Skills, and it's only 9/10 as it stands. It could be Skills' day. We're going to have to wait and see. Got to be extra careful, Mr. Skills. And all he has to do is not lose a second lap for the next 2 laps. I'd say he's capable of doing half a second slower lap than Snipes at least. So let's see what Skills is able to pull together for us, as Pez is now gotten by Matt Conabeer, although Matt Conabeer is right on his tail into the braking zone. Matt's going to try to outbrake him and go around the outside, but he's going to get onto the curbing there, and there's not a lot of grip. Now Pez slides through into P3. Conabeer is still penaltyless though, so that should get him up into the podium positions. Skills now just trying to stay alive here. The gap is 1.4, and he's got to be within a second and a half of plus what he is now to make sure that he stays in contention for the win here. It's 1.4 seconds, and you'd imagine he is starting to dispense as much ERS as he possibly can just to make sure that he keeps up with Snipes SB. The gap is 1.2, and Skills just looks so fluid through the S's. He seems to be gaining time on Snipes in certain areas of the track, so we have more time penalties popping in, and a yellow flag is, I think that's CSR GH, who's gone off in the S section. And now it's going to come down to the final lap here for the win, but it's looking like it could be the AlphaTauri driver of CSR Skills. He's just got 1 lap to keep things pieced together here. RVPT is trying to make up some ground on West to get into the battle for P5, but it is really all about these 2 guys up front. Is it going to be Snipes? Is it going to be Skills? We are going to find out here as they get down through the end of Sector 1. It's still looking close enough for Skills to get the win here. Can he keep things neat and tidy through the final couple of corners of this lap? It's just all about keeping within the 3-second window, and he's doing it so nicely as it stands. Both the soft tires here for both these guys starting to die out. Matt Conabeer looks like he's going to be able to hold on to P3 on penalties, as Skills is still 1.4, 1.3. He's getting good exits where he needs to, and this is keeping him in contention with Snipes SB right now. 1.3 seconds is the gap. Can Skills get it done? They're coming into the end now of Sector 2 into 3. The gap is looking in the favor of the AlphaTauri. Is he going to be able to pull it off? And remember, he did not start high up on this grid. He started in 11th place. Is it going to be a win for the AlphaTauri driver, CSR Skills, as he's coming up to the line now? It's going to be Snipes across the line first, but I believe it is going to be the AlphaTauri of CSR Skills as he wins here in Australia. Pez crosses the line quickly, but it's going to be Matt Conabeer wrapping up the last piece of the podium. Pez P4, West P5, Harvey P6, JD bumps up to P5, West to P6, Harvey P7, Brownie P8. Phil is going to come home P8 actually over Brownie, and Alfie, it looks like, not even in the lobby, is going to take home P10 over Jan, who has no front wing. And the winner of the Grand Prix, CSR Skills. What a performance here at Australia. Makes up 11 places and keeps it clean enough to take the win over Snipes SB. Some late safety car luck really played into that one, but what an absolute win for CSR Skills. And fair play to Matt Conabeer as well for keeping it together on those hard tires at the end of the Grand Prix, really stretching him out at the end to make sure that he could keep the podium position. Well driven from both the AlphaTauris, and I'm going to go and throw this out on a limb here. I'd say it's got to be driver of the day to CSR Skills or Matt Conabeer. I mean, drove absolutely phenomenal races. I know Matt Conabeer lost a position, but man, I'd say it's got to go to skills, if not to Mr. Pez himself. 19th to 4th, that's one hell of a drive. Let's get Skills in here for an interview, as well as Matt Conabeer, both the AlphaTauri drivers. And then we'll get Pez an invite as well. And Snipes SB in the mix too. But what a performance today. CSR Skills takes the win here at Australia. Snipes P2 on penalties. Matt Conabeer takes home P3. Wraps up the podium for AlphaTauri. Pez P4. JD P5, Wes P6, Harvey P7, Phil P8, Brownie P9, and Alfie P10. Jan Meavy, Apex Racing, Russ, Kuga, Multi-Wide, Smates, D-Money, and Munjakla are going to miss out on the points today. But we are joined now by the man himself, the man who made it happen today, and he gets it done on track, Mr. CSR Skills. You must be absolutely buzzing right now. Come on, baby, let's go. Let's go, baby. What an absolute drive, and I'm sure you're thrilled with that late safety car at the end. It kept you within the window of Snipes. How do you feel after walking away with that one? Yeah, it was well driven by you and your teammate as well. Conabeer was able to hold himself into the final podium position there at the end. Really well driven for AlphaTauri. That's a big result to start off the season. Mr. Snipes SB, was well driven by you as well, sir. You take home P2 after a pretty, I would say, up and down Grand Prix, just given kind of how everything ended up playing out for you. Give us your thoughts on that one. Yeah, Australia is a tough track to keep things clean around. I kind of foresaw some penalties coming as things played out. But yeah, that late safety car definitely took away some of the momentum for you. I'm sure you're going to be back. We obviously know you're the champ here. So well driven today, and nice job on P2. Yeah. Yeah. As always, I got you guys on comms, no issues whatsoever. But yeah, very, very happy for both you guys on the results today. So well done to both of you. And yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me in the booth tonight. That was CSR Tier 1, Round 1 Australian GP. You can join us next week at the same time, 8 p.m. UK on Monday for Round 2. And we will see you very, very soon.